Hey there, welcome to All Up in Your Business podcast with me, your host, Kaylee Bain, where we talk about the stories of all these small businesses, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, keynote speakers like the one today. And I get to tell you their story, and you actually get to hear it from them, not me. But I get to ask cool questions. So today I am here with Jess Ekstrom. Hey, girl.
Hello.
I am so excited. So fun fact, I actually helped produce Jess's show. We go over some fun stuff. But tell us, what is it that you do, Jess?
Oh, well, I have to think about it like, what did I do today? Well, I'm a mom of two kiddos, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So that is like primary job right now. But in terms of All Up in Your Business, my business is called Mic Drop Workshop, where we help women land paid keynote spots, become thought leaders, seen and valued for what they know. And then I also do speaking and write books myself.
I love that. That's great. And Mic Drop, go into a little bit. What is Mic Drop? Go a little bit more in depth with that one.
Well, it started when I was doing speaking myself. I was trying to raise awareness and also get money to speak for my first business, Headbands of Hope, that I started when I was in college. And I was speaking quite a bit and realized many times I was the only woman in the lineup. And I remember one time an event, I had a call with them before I was supposed to speak. And I always ask, why me? What was it about me and my story? Why are you bringing me to speak? And the guy was like, I don't know who you are. We just needed a woman.
Oh my gosh. We just needed some
I
female
was like,
energy.
wait, did I just teleport to the 1950s? What's going on?
Wow.
But I appreciated his honesty. He was like, yeah, we just haven't been able to find any women speakers. I was like, haven't been able to find any or haven't looked hard enough. But I did realize it was kind of a two-sided problem. One, events not picking women, but also women not applying as much as men to speak or charging as much as men to speak. So I rented out this bottom floor of a restaurant right here in Raleigh in 2018, put up an Eventbrite. It was like, any women that want to learn the ropes of public speaking, come on out. I'll have wine and cheese, and I'll teach you how to get paid to speak. And then people who showed up, the room was full. They were like, can I watch this if I'm not in Raleigh? How do I attend? Can you do it another time? And that was what became Mic Drop Workshop. So now we've trained thousands of women all over the world to land paid keynote spots or just speak more confidently at work and in their job, land TED Talks. And it's been, honestly, the honor of a lifetime. It's so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so you have a big conference coming up soon.
Yes.
This will already be this will be aired after that's happening.
Okay.
But tell us
Thank
a little
God.
bit.
I want to say something to future Jess right now after the conference.
Yes. Let's talk. Let's manifest this energy.
Yeah. It went great. Everyone loved it. There was no lines for anything. There was no hiccups. Everything went smoothly. No one's travel was delayed. Everyone was on time. And everything just went perfectly. Great job. Okay.
You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Great job, future Jess.
Great job, future Jess.
Oh, man. So where is that at?
It's in Indianapolis. And so when we were looking at our audience and, looking at their locations, because we have over 300,000 women that are in the Mic Drop email list in our community, we had a lot of Midwest, and we just found, I love Raleigh, but it's always a layover, and it's just a tough place to get to. So Indianapolis was a perfect place for that. So it's an Indy Mic Drop Live. And what's also really cool about Indianapolis right now is the explosion of women in sports. I mean, of course, you have Caitlin Clark there with the Fever, but there's so many other amazing things. And they're a huge house for swimming and USA Track and Field. And so just a lot of cool stuff happening there for women. So our keynote / celebrity podcast guest for day 2 of the conference is Allison Felix. And she's the most decorated track and field athlete of all time.
That's super cool.
Such a badass. So I'm so excited.
I know nothing about Indianapolis or I ran track and field.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone in that really, but that's really cool.
Well, what's cool about her story is not just of course, the medals and everything that she did as an athlete, but what she did off the field. She, got pregnant, and she calls it in track and field is the kiss of death when you get pregnant. And she lost $70,000 from a sponsor.
Wait
after.
a second. I know this
You know
story.
who?
Yes.
Yes.
I know exactly where this is going. Yes.
And she was like, "Oh, hell no!"
Right.
And so because of her, she like women in sports now have so much more protection than they ever did when they start families. And it used to mean like getting pregnant was a financial risk, and it still is for women out of sports. It was a risk for me. I mean, turning down speaking opportunities, like, and women having to worry about their jobs. But Allison has been a big part of protecting mothers in sports, and so I'm interested, of course, about like her Olympic journey, but I feel like I'm more interested in how she used her voice, even when the cost was really high, which it was.
Did she do shoes or something with shoes?
Yes. She has a shoe line, Sage. Yeah.
Yes. Erica, I think, got some of those shoes.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
That's where I heard about the story, because she's like, look at these shoes. And I was like, huh?
She's
awesome.
like,
they have a whole story. And then she told me the story, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
okay,
she does that. And then she also has a agency called Always Alpha, where they like represent athletes for deals and stuff. I mean, she's doing the damn thing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So you have that whole conference. That's a 2-day conference?
Yes.
Is this your first time doing like this big of a conference?
First time. I know.
Are you excited, nervous, all the things?
You know, I think that it's no longer a choice. Like, we have to do it.
Yeah.
I think for so long, you know, we started Mic Drop, the pandemic hit, and so virtual was great for the position we were in, which was we were early stage. We wanted to scale, but without like hosting events all over the world. We were able to do that. Now, I think that in-person events are going to become just these, I hate to use the word like sacred, but just these super important pillars of life. Mm-hmm. When you think about people that you meet, it's hard to, you know, brush shoulders with someone on Zoom while you're filling your coffee. But when you're at a conference or you're at an event, there's so much opportunity to have these collision points that you don't have in life. Like, rarely are you gathered by like-minded people in the same room. And so I think that with Mic Drop, not only do we want to teach women how to speak, but I think that putting people in the same room with same goals, similar vision is like no longer an option. It's a requirement, especially with AI. I just think that the more we digitally have like more digital reliance, the more important it is going to have in-person opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I know for me, because I'm super extroverted, but since the pandemic, I feel like more introvertedness is like coming in. I'm like, I like to be home and cuddly and snuggly and not have to go into a group of people.
When that happens for you, do you say, okay, I'm just going to do that, or do you force yourself to get out?
So I put on events. So it's like I force myself to get out by doing these events. Mm-hmm. So it makes me like still be around people. So like I do a networking event every month. And at one point I used to have 80 people go. And it was wild just to a networking event.
Yeah.
But it was cool camaraderie. It's like a very laid back networking. Like it's for, like I created it because I couldn't find one that I liked. And I wanted something like super laid back. Like if you want to show up like this, you could. Mm-hmm. Or you can be a little bit more business, like a little bit nicer looking like you. Or if you wanted to come in a suit and tie, you can. Or like, you know, just don't come in PJs, obviously. But I wanted the laid back vibe of a networking event that had no speaking, didn't have something where you had to sit and wait for the person to be done talking.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't want it to be like, oh, hey, like, what do you do? Oh, hey, here's a business card. Like, absolutely no sales card. Like, no, I don't want any of that. So I just created it because I also wanted friends, too, because I have a social media marketing business. And I literally was just like, this is the most loneliest job I think I've ever done, but I love what I do, but I just need to be around people. So I just created it.
You just said something that made me think of something. One, that's awesome that you created that. Two, I have a pet peeve, and it's when people give me their business card without being asked.
Oh, yes.
And I know this might sound bad, but I was at an event on Saturday and, you know, met a woman, and she immediately was like, and I'm like, I don't even know you. Who are you? You don't even know me for like all of this to say. And it's just this, what it tells me when you immediately hand me a business card without being like, oh, like we've found something to connect on. Let's further the conversation, is that you're just, the transactional nature of it is kind of coming through. And so I love what you're saying about kind of you couldn't find a networking thing that you liked. And it just reminded me, I was like, oh my gosh, that was driving me crazy when people were just shoving business cards to me. And I was like, you have no idea how you can help me because we haven't talked. So I am all for connection, but like make it purposeful and intentional.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's just, I hate that too. It's just like, oh,
I know.
like, I guess I'll take it. But it's just like, I feel like if you have just a genuine connection and just conversation.
Yeah.
And I forget who said it, but someone said, like, when you go to Europe or anywhere else that's not here, they're like, oh, like, hey, how's your family? How's your dog? How's your kid? How's your that? And, like, us Americans are very like, oh, what do you do for work? Like, ever since this has been told to me, now it's totally shaped how I ask people when I first see them, especially at my events. Because when they come in, I can tell, I'm really good at reading people, so I can tell right away if someone's really nervous or if they're super comfortable. Yeah. And so I have regulars, they make everyone else feel very comfortable, but the ones that come in that are super nervous, I'm like, hey, like, usually it's like women. I'm like, hey, girl, like, what's up? Like, how are you? Is this your first time here? And if they say yes, which is most likely yes, and I'm like, great, if there's, like, someone I can connect you with, like, I know what everyone does here, so if you need help, like, let me know. I can help you business-wise. Other than that, like, let's talk about, like, the drinks they have here. Let's talk about this and that. It's like I try not to make it super awkward for them because it's going to be awkward for everyone who's a first-time networker. And so I always get a lot of first-time networkers that come.
I've swapped asking people, what do you do, with what's a typical Tuesday look like for you? And that gives them the opportunity to choose. They can tell me about their job. They can tell me about their kids. They can tell me about their pickleball league. But it just gives the choice and a little bit more open-ended because I agree when someone's like, what do you do? And I'm just like, but I'm guilty of that too because it's just, especially when you're at like business-related events.
Yeah, it's second nature. Like, oh, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, it just is so, like, it just flows out. So, because I think it took one time this happening, and then right after, like, weirdly, I heard this whole analogy of, like, America versus not here. And they're like, well, like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out if I want to go back out there in the workforce. And I'm like, I don't have kids, so I can't relate to the whole stay-at-home mom, but I know it's hard. Like, I can see that it's hard. And so it's just, like, I don't ever want to make someone feel like they're less than, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if, like, that question does make people feel that way, but that's, like, the last thing I ever want to do. So it's just, like, reshaping how questions are asked.
Yeah, for sure.
And, yeah. So enough about me, though. So before you started Headbands for, like, bring us back to before Headbands for Hope. Like, what got you into doing what you're doing? What got you going to Headbands, doing, like, take us back to, like, young Jess figuring it out.
Oh, my gosh. Still figuring it out. I don't know about young. I think I was always just had this, like, insatiable curiosity around people, business, and then I now kind of can look back and connect the dots that I was always also pretty shameless. I don't know if it was just being young or just something about how I was raised or what it might be, but I just didn't feel until much later in life like an embarrassment of what if they say no, or like what could go wrong. And so I think I was always just shooting my shot, whether that was like picking up the phone and calling people for jobs or internships, you know, when I was younger, to starting like an eBay business when I was in middle school. It
eBay.
Just,
oh my gosh, I forgot about eBay.
Such a throwback. I was slinging some packages on eBay. I mean, if anyone's watching and you still have any of your American Girl dolls and you want to make some bank, eBay was where it was at.
Do you ever find Polly Pockets, like the old school Polly Pockets?
I had those. I don't think I still have them.
Oh, no, I sold all mine. I remember,
oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. And then afterwards, like after I thought about it, I'm like, what? I had old Pokemon cards, the Nintendo, the Polly Pockets, all the Barbies.
Vintage.
Like,
yeah. Remember how, I don't know, maybe I'm too old, but were you the Beanie Baby era?
Yes, okay. I had so many Beanie
Did you
Babies.
watch that documentary? I can't remember what it was called, but it was about Beanie Babies and how everyone was like, this is like a retirement plan, you know, getting like eBay, Beanie Babies, and everyone thought they were going to be worth more than they actually were.
Right. I think resell. I do remember that because everyone mentioned keeping, like, I think I still have a box of mine somewhere. Those
Who
I
knows?
could keep because I loved a
Yeah.
good Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
Polly Pockets, I'm like, Polly, you can go.
Yeah, I'm like, it's fine. I also had like the Spice Girls dolls. I sold those,
Ooh.
which probably I could have hung on to a little bit longer.
Oh, gosh. Do you have anything else that like you've like hung on to that you just like never
No,
gave
because
up?
I am a villain when it comes to clutter.
Okay.
Like my mom is like, what is wrong with you? I've thrown away like yearbooks before because I was like, I just was awkward. I don't want to like look at it. And now I'm like, okay, that was bad. I shouldn't have done that. But I hate holding on to things. And I know, I don't know what that means about me. If you're a therapist listening to this, you could tell me.
This.
Yeah. But I have just like memory boxes, things like that. Just to me, it's just stuff and clutter. And I've found that to be really challenging when it comes to my kids. Even, okay, this is going to sound really bad, but you know, my daughter's 3 and she'll come home with a, sheet of paper from school with literally just like a line on it.
Like a marker line?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, I made this for you. And I'm like, do I have to keep this? Like, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then trash,
The cuter ones you can keep.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm just like, this is about to be really hard as a parent deciding what to keep because it's no longer about my memories. It's about theirs.
Yeah.
And so I'm already kind of, if anyone has any advice for me of like, if you're anti-clutter, but you have kids and you want to preserve their mememories, like
that
tell
is
me.
my cousin through and through with so we call my cousin's kids my nephews. She has about to be 5 and 3. And same thing, like they'll come home. She's like, I don't want to keep this. So I think she still has it. She got like little tote boxes with their initials on the outside.
Okay.
And so then they're like little file folders. And then so for every year or however, she kind of like puts it in the file per se.
Interesting.
And then like the cute ones, obviously, like not the little one marker line, but like she'll put the cuter ones in the files, and then she just puts the tote like back in the closet.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Right.
The other thing is, we have a historic home, so it's not that big.
Okay.
And I'm like, we just don't have the space to like have a, dedicated spot for this. But as you can tell, this is a button for me, Kaylee.
I'm the worst person to ask because I'm like, oh, let's keep this.
Yeah.
Oh, my
whatever
mom saw
the
that one
show,
time, I'll keep it.
If there's a show like that called The Opposite of Hoarders, that would be me.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
TLC, you can cast me.
I aspire to be that, but I am nowhere close to it. You can even see it from my desk. Yeah. My nephew drew me one thing, and I'm like, oh my God, Wesley, it's so cute. And it just sits there.
Yeah.
It's literally like 2 marker lines, and I was like, wow, he thought of me.
See, I want
to be like that. Like I remember my husband and I, when we started dating, we went somewhere to like the movies. Maybe it was like the state fair. And like a week later, he handed me the ticket stubs from that. And I was like, why are you giving this to me? And he goes, I just thought you might want to keep it like for your scrapbook. Oh, and I was like, why do I look like a fucking kind of girl? Do I look like? And so that was like 13 years ago. And to this day, I'll sometimes say to him, do I look like a scrapbook kind of girl? That's so funny. Yeah. So you were on eBay and you were selling. Yes. And then watched my dad start a company when I was a kid. And then my mom, joined him in that. And then when I got to college, I interned for Make-A-Wish. That was like the initial spark of seeing kids lose their hair, wanting to wear headbands. So I started Headband Hope. For every headband sold, one it's given to a child with cancer. Grew that for about 10 years, and then it got acquired. And one of the ways I was able to grow it was through public speaking. And so that's kind of what led to a speaking career / mic drop workshop, which is what I do now. Gotcha. And then the headbands, do you have those just like in random stores in the area, or like how did you? Yeah, stores, mostly online. Cool. But for a while we were at Kohl's, Ulta, things like that, which was cool. That's really cool. Yeah. And everybody, you're from this area? Born in Maryland, grew up right outside of Charlotte, and then went to Penn State, Raleigh. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Raleigh. I did this. I'm like, I never want to leave, but then I go to like the ocean, or I go to the mountains, like, yeah. I get that because I lived in all the areas. I'm like, I'm getting my itch back for this, and I come back here like, no, I like it. It's great because you have like you're in between. Yeah. You know what? It is great. So then my job workshop, and then your first book. When did you write that one? Chasing the Bright Side. Yeah, Chasing the Bright Side came out 2019. So, which is funny. It's a book about optimism. Came out right before probably the darkest time for a lot of people, the pandemic in 2020. And that was about the story of starting Happy Hands of Hope, but really this framework around how we can train our mind to be more optimistic about the future. Therefore, we can create a brighter future. And that was, it was a really cool experience to write that book and going through a traditional publisher and all the amazing things. And then now with Making It Without Losing It, that comes out May 5th, which I think this podcast will be out by then.
Yes. Yeah. No, I was trying to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Making It Without. Also, she has a book right here that she can show you.
Oh, yeah.
It's super pretty. Making It Without Losing It. How to Stay Motivated in a World Where We Are Never Done. But this book, Chasing the Bright Side, was definitely more of this is what I know. And Making It Without Losing It was more of an exploratory book with something I struggled with, which was feeling really crappy around ambition and goals. Because I just always felt like, well, I'm not there. I'm not where I want to be, no matter how much I chased in my career. There was always something I hadn't accomplished yet. And I was choosing to see that as a deficit instead of just a normalized part of career ambition, pursuing your goals.
Yeah.
And so this book is really for anyone who struggles with the feeling of like no finish lines and never being done, because I struggled with it too. And so hopefully you can find something to help you with it.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm always having a goal. And like with my self-diagnosed ADHD, I have lists on lists on lists because I'm like, I have to feel like I've accomplished something. So say I have to go, I don't know. For example, I had my cousins and I were doing like a little like decluttering thing. I'm like, great, I'm going to declutter something from the bathroom. And I went to go in there to grab something. And then I saw my shampoo was almost out. I'm like, oh, I need to trash that. I started trashing it. I'm like, then I start cleaning. And I'm like, oh man, I need to really clean. So then I start cleaning and I get under the drawers. And I was like, oh wow, I have some old things that I've not seen in a little while. So that turned into me looking through everything. And then that turned into me taking the trash out. And then that took me to, full on clean. I'm like, what did I even come?
There's literally a Malcolm in the Middle episode. Did you ever watch that show with Dad? And it was like a whole episode of him like doing something and then, oh, the tire. And then, like, oh, my engine. And then, oh, I need to go get the, wrench. And And it's so real.
And that is me every day. Like doing the dishwasher. I hate laundry and I hate taking the dishes out of the dishwasher.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm good at just throwing shit in.
Yeah.
Him out now.
Right at the throwing it in. Yeah. Taking it and putting it away, absolutely not. It's not going to get done. So then I saw something that said, just start small. Just do little small things. So take the dishes and put them on top of the counter. So then they're sitting there, going to bother you, so you have to put them away. I was like, okay, I'll try it. My dad started putting them on top of the counter, and it did start driving me nuts with them sitting there. And the second I said, then I put them away. And so, frankly, someone I work with here, she's so funny. She's like, my wife does that, and I want to kill her because I'm like, just put it in the day.
Put it away. I know when it comes to like cohabitating with someone, stuff like that. One thing that has helped me with just completing little tasks and doing them, and it might just be me, is I think about tomorrow, Jess. And I'm like, tomorrow, Jess would be really happy if her gas tank was full. Yeah. If she didn't have to go get gas, on the way to drop Ellie off at school.
Yeah.
Or like, tomorrow, Jess would be really happy if I just finished and sent this email off instead of like saving it in drafts, having to think about it and like coming back. So it doesn't work all the time, but I think about how would this feel tomorrow? And that's helped me.
That's so true. That is a good way to go about it. Like, people want to do that tomorrow or just want to get it done now.
Yes, exactly. So do it for tomorrow you.
Yeah. Love that. So then kind of switching gears a little bit. So we talked about the mic drop workshop and all your big things you do there because you do a lot. So what is kind of like a hard lesson you've learned along the way of doing it all?
I would say people ask me, how do you do it all? And my answer is I don't. I mean, my dad is watching my son right now. My daughter is in preschool. We have an amazing woman who comes over on Sundays and meal preps for the week. We hire people to clean our house. My husband works for my business. I grew up in a white, very privileged home. I am white. And so I think realizing like when someone's like, how do you do it all? I have so much privilege that I can pull from that I don't do it all. And sometimes when we see people doing big things, like how are they doing that? How is she doing that? One, we don't know what it actually looks like. And two, we don't know what kind of support they have. And three, like it's just really tough to compare someone who has like a completely different starting block. You know, I mean, I think about that all the time. I was able to become an entrepreneur because I knew I could take the leap. And even if it didn't work out, I wouldn't be home. I would be able to go home. My parents would, wrap a blanket around me and give me some soup and then go start applying for jobs. But like getting food on the table or where I was going to sleep was never a question for me. And so I have been able to take big risks and big swings in my career because I've had that privilege. And so I think, that's why I invest in only minority women-owned businesses, because I'm like, man, there's just a lot I don't know and a lot steeper hills that people have to climb to get to where I am or where other people are. So I think about that a lot when people ask me, like, how do I do it all? I just want to be very clear that I don't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, knowing when and where you can grab help from too. I think it's big, like asking for that help is like another big thing. So a lot of people like don't want to ask for help. Yeah, I'm very guilty of that. Like I hate that. I rather die trying to do it, ask for help. But then like when you get to that point of like you're actually about to die, you're like, all right, I really need help. And then like when you do ask, you have a community usually around you that you don't really, sometimes people don't even know. But it sounds like you have like a really good community around you. So I have a village, around me that I am so grateful for. And becoming a mom, just everyone should have a village no matter what, but becoming a mom, the village became more than just help. It was a lifeline. I mean, it is the help I need to raise kids in a way that I want them to be loved and supported, grow a business, or just have a career. In modern society in America, like those two things are like two magnets. They're just polarizing. And we're just not built for that, which is really hard as an ambitious woman who really likes working. And I posted on LinkedIn the other day, I was just like, how are working parents doing this? I just like anyone, just tell me, how are you doing it? And, I'm not like a huge influencer on LinkedIn, but there was like 500 people that commented under it. And which showed me that there's a lot of people going through what I'm going through. But I mean, it was across the board of people saying, having really tactical, great advice that, giving yourself some grace, like figuring out what you can delegate in the home, having like timed family time. But then there was a lot of people that were like, or a good amount of people that were like, just quit. Yeah. And of course you just stop and pause. And I'm not shaming for anyone who does quit. I think it's not quit, but like take a pause or a career break. In fact, Neha Rooch, who's coming on the Faking It, she started the Power Pause, which is awesome. But it's like, okay, well, that is an option. Let me think about that. And when I do think about it, like, I
love my kids and I love being a mom. And I also love working. And I want to be able to do those things. Yeah. One of my favorite quotes of all time, and I paint, right? So I went to school for painting. And so I painted so many things with this quote on it because I'm obsessed with it. It says, it's from Banksy, and it says, "Learn to rest, not quit." And I have reverted back to that quote so many times in my life because there's a lot of times, like, I'm notorious for starting something and I'm like, oh, never mind. ADHD kicks in. It's like that super like hyper fixation and I get bored. So when I started my business, Honey Gin, I was like, this is something I cannot quit because it'd be too much for me. I worked way too hard for it. I went through a lot of shit with it. I went through a lot of shit before I even started it with my own personal life. So it's just like, this was one thing I did not want to quit. So when something happened, I took a pause, took a little break, rested per se for about 6 months. And I kind of like reevaluated where I want things to go, where I wanted to go, where I wanted the business to go. And I restarted it. So now I'm just doing it on the side, working on it after hours. So, a full-time job here, 9 to 5. And then afterwards, I'm up to like 10, 11 o'clock working on that in the podcast. Because I'm like very passionate about helping small businesses in the area, the entrepreneurs. And I have big things in the works, but just like that whole rant like it wasn't a quit, which was what I told myself I didn't want to do with this business. But if I ever quit, like, I think that will be very sad for me. I worked so hard for it. Yeah. I think some of the worst advice that gets floated around is, what would you do if you knew you could fail? And I think the more accurate advice, because that's not realistic, is what would you still do if you knew you were going to fail? Yeah. Growing anything, starting anything, doing anything requires all these forms of failure. Some of them big, some of them small. Mm-hmm. And so the question we should be asking ourselves is then what's worth it? What's worth the pain of failure? Like, is it, starting your company, your podcast, your mom's group, whatever it might be? And I know, for me with speaking or whatever I'm building, I'm like, yeah, I fail all the time. I got an email yesterday that's like, oh, it was down to you, another speaker. They went with someone else. Happens all the time. And it is worth, speaking to me in that career is worth the price of the failures. And so what would you do if you knew failure was inevitable? And also going off of that, we all know we're going to fail, just like you just mentioned. So it's like, yes, we're going to fail. And instead of taking it and getting down the gutters with it, like, how are you going to like twist that and like make it a lesson? Because I can't be mad. I'm not a mad person. I get mad about like silly things, but like, I'm just not an angry person. I don't hold on to hatred. And so anything that's ever bad happened, I try to take in, okay, like, what was a learning lesson from this? And bring it to the dating world, right? My listeners are like, good God, killing your dating world. And I'm like, this is not where your thing is going. But like in the dating world, everyone's like, oh man, like, I am so sorry. He was such a loser. He was such that. They're like, it all sucked. But here's one thing I know, I will not take crap, or like, I won't do this, or maybe I'll look for this instead next time. So it's like, I try to take anything like that and I'll be sad for a second and then I get over it. Like a good soft girl lesson I learned back in the day was 24-hour rules. So yeah, you can be mad you guys lost the game, but at 24 hours, you better be over it and ready to practice. You know what I mean? And that's like I'm not a huge sports person, but we were talking about before this.
No, but I think your ability to not dwell is such a superpower.
It's hard, but I mean, what else would have their choice? Exactly. What else are you going to do? Yeah. Like, you going to sit there and be mad?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, have fun with that. I'm going to be over here working on the next 4 things.
Obviously you listened to it because you produced the show, but Lindsay Shookus's tips on like gathering data around people
a little bit. Yeah.
And she talked about like, okay, someone ghosts you, or someone, you're on a date and they like they're rude or something. And instead of being like, oh gosh, dare they this, that. It's like, oh, I'm gathering the data. I have the information now that I need to decide how I want this person to be in my life. And that might mean I don't. And so I love that episode. Yeah.
I love how she started it. How she say like the motherfucking thing?
Yeah, she was like, gather other fucking data. I was like, that needs to be the title of your book.
Yeah. Oh, when it started like that, I told our editor, I'm like, this is gonna be a good one.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally. And it was fun.
So then as we kind of wrap up a little bit, so usually how I end it is, asking you like, what's a piece of advice you would give someone wanting to go into business? Mm-hmm. So would that be kind of a big one is just a piece of advice for someone going into like starting their business or starting entrepreneurship or anything like that? I would say, like sometimes it feels like you're in a fishbowl, but you're not. And people are not thinking about you as much as you think they are, which is really free. For some people, it's disappointing. I think it's really free to realize like, oh, no one like, oh, just to, and so to me, that frees up my creativity. It frees up, it shortens the period that I feel shame around failure. It makes me a lot more open-minded to how things could go. So if you want to start something, I would just have this underdog mindset of like, yeah, no one's watching me. Let's go shock the hell out of them. And then is there a piece of advice that you've gotten along the way where you're like, it's just kind of like stuck with you a little bit? That's someone may have given you knowledge you experienced yourself? My parents, which I know you're about to meet my mom to record a podcast for making it. My parents, they always had, this wasn't like I don't think she would probably even realize that this was advice that she gave. Whenever I would pitch something to them, like, what if I, slept in the backyard tonight? Or like, what if I started a business? Or what if I did this? It was always, why not? It was never a like, what about this? What about that? It was always this why not mindset, which helped me be able to daydream down that path. And so I think I wanted to go with my own kids of just like, let them dream big and whether they go through with it or not, but like, don't squash their dreams before they really take shape. It's just why not? Love that. That's a good little tidbit to end on. Yeah, thanks for having me. Of course. And then just so everyone can know, where can they all find you, listen to you, watch you, read your stuff? I'm not hard to find. I'm very available. She's everywhere. I'm everywhere. Not very. I should probably be less. You can listen to Making It with Jess Ekstrom wherever you consume podcasts. I'm also cooler on LinkedIn than I am on Instagram. And then I also send out a text every Monday with a quote or a thought for your week. So you can send the word hype to 704-228-9495. On Monday. That's fun. Yeah, it is fun. And then by the time this episode's out, it should be, you can get her book. Yes. Grab your copy of Making It Without Losing It. I encourage you to go to a local retailer and get it there. And we would love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited. I can ask you questions. Yeah, it's fun. But usually I get to like watch you ask all the questions. And so this was really fun for me. And thank you all for listening, coming in, tuning, watching, listening, however you're consuming this. I don't know. Fun fact, if you're a Patreon supporter, I found out that if you are a Patreon supporter for $3, $5, or $8, which is usually as much as your coffee, Chipotle, less than your McDonald's, all that good stuff, you could actually get a link sent to your email to listen and watch it right there, which is so cool. My mom she called me, she's like, Kaylee, did you know I'm watching your show through my email right now? What? So it was just really cute. So I have some Patreon support, which is awesome. So that is your way of supporting local, supporting me, helping tell the stories of these cool businesses. Other than that, yeah, do what you do best. Like, subscribe, save, share, follow, all the things. And I will see you next week.